Captain C.A. Richardson here from Flatsclass YouTube. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a very popular freshwater bait from Z-Man that catches inshore species. So here's the freshwater bait that I want to share with you from Z-Man. It's the Z-Man Hula Sticks. This has been out for about 18 months now. Recently on a trip with a couple of guys that do a lot of field testing for Z-Man, they introduced me to the Hula Stick. Now, the Hula Sticks is a simple little 4-inch worm type bait. It's made from Elazitech, and that's key. That's the success to this bait. And it has a couple little tentacles at the very top of this, the back end of the worm. What I like to do is I like to cut about 1 inch off the front of this bait, and I like to put it on a very light wire, lightweight jig head. What that does is it allows this bait to stand up and dance on the bottom. Now, I'm not moving this bait very fast. In fact, it excels if you're just fishing spring patterns like fishing potholes, especially on the middle or low part of the tide, where you're casting these jigs into the potholes and the bait hits the bottom, and then you're going to work the hula stick slowly across the bottom with a twitch, and then let it fall back to the bottom. Maybe shake the tip a little bit. Give it a little bit of action. But I guarantee you, especially in this smelt color, it will drive fish crazy. I watch these guys catch 100 fish on one flat utilizing this hula stick. So I'm telling you, it works. But here's how you rig it, and I'm going to give you not only the rigging technique, but I'm going to give you the rod and reel action that you're going to need to be successful with this bait. Always choose a very light wire, lightweight hook. They've already done that at Z-Man by providing you with the Finesse Shrooms jig head. This is part of the Ned Rig system. This is a freshwater system, but it works excellent on inshore species. When I'm fishing a spring pattern where I've got these low tides and the fish fill up in the potholes on the grass flats, especially here in Florida, you can use this system and catch everything that is trapped in those potholes. I'm talking flounder, redfish, snook, especially sea trout. I've seen guys catch 100 fish on this off my boat, and I'm a true believer. Now, one of the tricks is to take a knife or a pair of scissors and shorten this bait by about that much, probably 3/4 of an inch. Once you've done that, take and thread this bait onto the hook, and I like to just follow it up the shank. And you see this little keeper? That's what is really the key to keeping this bait on that Finesse Shrooms hook. So I thread it up over the top of that, and I like to hold it right there and pull back just a little to make sure I set it on that perfectly. Now what I have is I've got a Shrooms head that's going to sit just like this straight up on the bottom, and these tentacles are just going to swim around, and I can work this bait slowly in the pothole by shaking the tip or by lift, and letting it fall again and sit there. You're working this bait slow. I promise you, nothing is going to resist it. And what I honestly believe, especially with this smelt color, is they believe it's a white shrimp on the bottom, and fish find it irresistible. You don't have to scent it, but if you put some Procure on it, I'm sure it'll be even more effective. But this is one of my go-tos now with clients that want to catch numbers of fish. Now, because you've got a very light head, which is going to require a light action rod to present this bait to get any distance, and you've got a fine wire hook on here with a very sharp point, you're going to need to use a very soft action rod. What I suggest is getting the Buku SR series. This is a 4-power rod. Actually, it's a 3-power rod. It's such that it's a moderate action and a medium, I'd say medium light, feel to the rod that's very soft. So it's great for casting. It bends deep into the blank, and it allows you not to straighten this hook out. You do not want to throw a medium heavy or a fast action rod, because that's going to create problems with this bait. You want a softer, slower powered rod that's going to be able to not only deliver this lure to the potholes that you want to fish, but it's also going to be the right action to fight the fish on. And I like to use at least 3 to 4 feet of 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. You can up it to 15 if you've got some redfish around. And I'm also throwing this on the braid. The braid that I'm using is 6 to 10-pound braid. Up to you. If you've got a little bit bigger boat, you might want to drop down to 6-pound braid so you can cast a little further away. If you've got a kayak or a technical polling skiff where you can get very close or even wade fishing, more than likely 10-pound braid will be adequate. So I hope you enjoyed this little tip on the hula sticks. I promise you, if you start employing this spring in the pattern the way I'm talking about, throwing it in the potholes and working this bait like a little white shrimp, you're going to catch an awful lot of inshore fish on this bass bait. Hey, Captain C.A. Richardson signing off from Flatsclass YouTube.